Now here we go. Wednesday. Everybody, what's happening? Right here on the hottest show in the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you all here on this evening and breaking down your Crimson Tide. As always, people, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell everybody that you know to get hooked on to the number one show, talking your Bama football right here. We want your calls. We want your comments in the chat line. We want your energy. We want your interactions. We want it all tonight. That daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go $100 right there. We appreciate that coming from all of you. We got a jam-packed show. Got a lot coming at you. Number one, Bama's main goal against Eastern Illinois, right? You're putting the Oklahoma loss behind you, but what is the main goal for the Crimson Tide against Eastern Illinois? We'll talk about that. Number two, we'll get into college football playoff, released the new rankings tonight. Well, released new rankings last night, excuse me. Alabama ranked at number 10. A lot of people don't like that. They felt like, hey, Bama ranked a little bit too low. But what is the playoff committee saying with Bama ranked number 10? What is the message behind that? We'll dive into that. And then last but not least, we'll get into it's time for Ty Simpson to get back in rhythm. Maybe the loss against Oklahoma was exactly what was needed. Why Ty Simpson was big in that Heisman race, Heisman conversation, and that loss right there has knocked him out about Heisman contention at this point. So he has a chance to get himself sort of back on track here. But all of this and your phone calls, once again, 205-448-1358. Light us up tonight. We want to hear from you. 205-448-1358. One more time. 205-448-1358. Want to hear from all of you. But we start off with our chat line this evening. We got my guy Jay McMillan, 23 in the building. Jay McMillan, give us an RTR. Appreciate Jay helping us out, getting us started. Behind Jay, we got my guy, the godfather of the SEC, Waylon. Hump Day Wednesday. It's TDA. Appreciate Waylon being in here. And my dude, Bill from New York's back. Big Bill from New York, 1393. Roll Tide Roll, my friends. Happy to have you back in here, Bill. It's happy to have Bill back in here. My guy Waylon is shouting out Bill from New York right there. Appreciate the love being shown there. How about this? Hey, how about this? We got Eric Thompson in here, 3008. Eric in here saying, talk about that number 10 spot, Steven. Roll Tide. Look, the committee mentioned, hey, we're going to value strength of schedule. We're going to value strength of resume. We're going to value who you beat. And then once they started doing that early on in the season, they have walked back on that statement. Alabama, 4 wins against top 25 teams, and Bama is ranked 10. That's not how you do a committee, but we'll get more into what the committee did say by putting Bama there at number 10. We got Patrick Bobo in here. Patrick Bobo, 58-47. We can't run the football. It's crazy. Bama having some issues there in the run game. But the run game did have some kind of life against Oklahoma last week, outrushing the Sooners 80-74. But you want to see more from that area. You want to see more from that side of the football. So hopefully this week against Eastern Illinois, you get back to establishing that rhythm. We'll talk about that even more so. We're going to get into – hold on here, folks. Hold on here. Got a little bit of an issue here with the – oh, boy. Hold on, folks. Here we go. We're back. We're rolling here. Had a small issue there. We're getting back. We're getting the camera back. There we go. We got the camera back. Here we go. I think we're back on now. Awesome. I think we're back on now. We had some small technicalities here. People were back in. We're back rolling. We have Waylon. My man Big Bill, shouting out Waylon, Godfather of the SEC there. And then we have Big Bill from New York dropping that $10 donation right there, helping us out on the channel. Welcome back, my friend. Glad to be back here with you, Bill. We're back here, folks. We had some small technical issues, but we're back here rolling. Mike F6613 with the Roll Tide. Appreciate you, Mike F, helping us out. GT18 giving us a Roll Tide. We got Latoya. Appreciate Latoya being a part here of the show. We got my girl here, Rosetta Smith, back in here. Roll Tide. Steve, happy to see you here, Rosetta. We got Godfather of the SEC. Remember, Alabama men's basketball starts at 8 Central Time on Fox. So Waylon giving us the update here. Nate Oates and Bama men's basketball, they're about to get rolling here on Fox. We got my guy, TRVL Entrepreneur Podcast. Give us an elephant there for a Roll Tide. Appreciate that right there. Appreciate that right there. We got my wife in here with her comment. What taught us from the loss, or what does the loss teach us? The loss against Oklahoma. We'll get into that, babe, in this topic, since you're talking about what can Bama learn from a loss. So, babe, we'll get into that. Got to appreciate my wife for chiming in. She also brings a Roll Tide in here as well. We got my guy, Jason Haywood, in here. Well, that was my daughter saying about the loss, not my wife. But she's using my wife's page to email to help with that. So that's my daughter talking about the loss and what can you learn from it. But Jason Haywood giving us a Roll Tide roll. Let's get it. Appreciate you, Jason, right there. We got James Knox, 1666 Roll Tide to I die, the TDA family, myself, and the gang there, or the gang here. We got Dom, college football talk, with a question. How would it look if Missouri and Tennessee lose another game and fall out of the rankings completely? Then what would the argument be? Notre Dame be the 7-2 top 22 Pitt team. Just my thoughts there. I mean, it's crazy how they've got Notre Dame over Alabama. I mean, Pitt could get steamrolled this weekend. It's just crazy what the committee is doing right now. But once again, Dom, we'll get to the main reason of why they've got Bama at number 8. GT18, yes, sir. Getting ready to watch the basketball game, responding there to Waylon. We got my guy, Nick Saban Jr. What's going on? Long time no see. Roll Tide. Appreciate you being here, Nick Saban Jr. Glad to be back in here. Andre Call writes in, my question is why they drop Alabama so far after they lose. I don't know. And like I said, Andre, the committee mentioned early in the season, we value strength of schedule, we value strength of resume, we value who you beat. And then you turn around and do this when Alabama has beaten 4 top 25 teams. You beat Georgia, you beat Tennessee, you beat Vandy, you beat Missouri. Like, that means something, right? And so the fact that you drop them to 10, even with that level of a resume, I don't understand it, but that's the committee for you. And Alabama, Paul, give us a roll tide. Appreciate your brother being a part here of the show. Let's see here. Benjamin writes in, bring back the computer, the BCS. I trust AI way more than people who are chugging beer while watching the games. Roll Tide. So Benjamin says, I trust AI. Here we go. Appreciate Benjamin giving his thoughts here on the show. Latoya writes in, Steven, since when did having a running game become a criteria for the playoffs? That's another thing. I don't know. Since when did having a run game become a criteria? Like, criteria is strength of schedule, the eye test, who you beat, taking full control of a game. I don't understand, when did having a run game become a criteria? But like I said, this committee, we don't know what they truly value because their values flip-flop and change every week. Latoya writes back in, this committee values losses over wins. You have a point there, Latoya. You do have a point there. That's a good point there. Jay McMillan writes in, they act like they never heard of throwing the ball. You got to pass the ball too. You got to have a balance. You got to be able to run and pass the football. Appreciate every last one of you guys getting your thoughts in here on the show. Continue to get your comments in. Once again, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard on the night show, 205-448-1358. Once again, 205-448-1358, the number right there. But getting to topic one right now, and that's Bama's main goal against Eastern Illinois. Look, we all look at this matchup as you got a tune-up before the Iron Bowl. You got a tune-up before your big showdown with Auburn. You got a tune-up before your in-state rival. However, even in this tune-up, there's a goal. What is the goal? Bama offensively got to get back in a rhythm, right? Ever since the Georgia game, this Bama team has fallen out of rhythm. Whether it's the play calling of Ryan Grubb, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's the running backs, whether it's the wide receivers, whether it's Ty Simpson, and I'll get to him later on in the show. This offense since the Georgia game has fallen out of rhythm, right? You got to get that rhythm back going, whether it's, Ryan Grubb calling the plays that are going to work and putting those plays into formation and putting those plays in strategic moments and having a formula for those plays, right? That's for Ryan Grubb's point of view there. Offensive line, getting into a rhythm of pass pro, picking up these blitzes, picking up the blitz pattern, putting your hands on guys, driving them off of the football, right? And not just in pass pro, but also in running the football. It's not going to be an elite run game, but bringing some type of rhythm and some type of life to your run game. That's the offensive line. You look at the running backs, getting into a rhythm of running with purpose, running with patience, running with vision, hitting the hole, pressing the hole, getting north and south. And then in pass pro, picking up those oncoming blitzing linebackers, defensive ends, defensive backs, being sound there in pass protection. Wide receivers, getting back into a rhythm of catching the football, right? Not dropping passes. Getting into a rhythm, looking the ball into your hands with your eyes, catching the football, and then once you catch that ball, getting up and down the field. I go back to when you had the first game of the season against Florida State and you suffered the loss right there at 31-17, what did Alabama do against Louisiana Monroe the next week? They used that game as a confidence-boosting game. Let's create a rhythm. Let's create some sort of identity. Let's get some confidence going. Let's get some comfortability going. Let's work some plays, right? And that's where you saw, Simpson have that perfect showing out there. That's where you saw Alabama was able to get some kind of a run game established. That's where you saw the receivers begin to perk up and chirp up some. That's where you saw the offensive line develop some confidence there. And that game against ULM started that run of wins and success and building, growing in confidence up until the Georgia game. And then after Georgia, that's when you kind of saw the lulls creep in and the struggles creep in and the lack of rhythm creep in, right? So you have to use this game right here the same way you did ULM. Use this matchup as a confidence booster to get your guys back going there in the right direction. That's just how I feel. This is what the main goal is. Have this game to get your confidence back going into the Iron Bowl against Auburn the following week, because that's a game the following week at Jordan-Hare where you're going to need to have full confidence, full comfortability, full ready to go in that environment. But we're going to go to a quick break right here, folks. When we get back, we go to the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Bring us your thoughts. We're going to get to those right after this.
You an Alabama fan?
I sure am, Roll Tide.
Do you have the TDA app to stay up to date with Alabama football news?
No, I don't.
Well, you're not a real Alabama fan, are you, buddy?
If you're a true Alabama football fan, you should have this app. Get all of your Crimson Tide updates, news, and information all in one app with notifications sent straight to your phone. The TDA app, the app for Alabama football fans.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break here. Number one forum for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. But right now, we're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls here. Call segment brought to you by my people, the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in 205-448-1358. We take our first call. You are live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
From New York. How are you doing, man?
Bill, so happy to be here with you, brother. So happy to be back with you and to have you on this phone line. Bill, what's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm all right. Listen, it hasn't been the same. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody from any other show, but it is not the same without you on the air. Great to have you back, man, and I hope everything's okay with the family.
Everything is good, man, with the family. Just so happy to be back here and to have this platform to talk Alabama football with all of you guys, and Bill, especially you, man. So I know that we got the Iron Bowl coming up next week. That's the Iron Bowl. But right now you got Eastern Illinois, and for me, it's a tune-up game, but it's a tune-up game where you got to get back to finding your rhythm. And for you, Bill, what are you trying to see in a tune-up game preparing for next week and facing Auburn?
Well, I like what you said before, in terms of our last tune-up game, when we won like 73-0. We got things in motion. We got things in gear. But what I want to ask you, Stephen, to make that assumption that we win the next two games, we beat Auburn, is there any way for us to not be in the conference championship game?
Yeah. So what that would mean is Ole Miss would have to beat Mississippi State, so that chalk would have to hold there. So if Ole Miss beats Mississippi State, then I think it would be Ole Miss and A&M in the conference championship game. It'll be Ole Miss and A&M, which I'm fine with that. And I think a lot of Alabama fans feel the same way. Whereas in years past, the SEC championship game meant something. It meant a lot. I know Nick Saban would say that. But ever since the playoff has expanded to 12 teams, it's if I get to the conference championship and I lose, does that put me out of the playoff? And I think that has a lot of fans apprehensive to, I would rather just make the playoff and not even worry about having that extra game.
But that's what I was getting at. In other words, I don't even think they should have these conference championship games. I think it's nonsense. Because look at it like this. What can happen aside from losing plays to injury? We're not going to gain anything. We're in the playoffs, you know? So I don't care about that. And just let me also say this. In terms of the playoffs themselves, if we could get in and just get ourselves a little bit better, there's nobody that scares me. Ohio State, yeah, they're talented. Indiana, yeah, I know all about Mendoza. Come on, they play against kindergarten kids. They could have me out on the field. You know what I mean? I'm 100 years old. Please, they don't play anybody. We do. We have 8 conference games. And then next year they're talking about going to 9.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't owe anybody anything. We just got to go out there and step on people. Wipe them off the field. That's what we got to do. And that's what we're going to do, Steve. And I'm going to let you go. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I am just so glad to have you back.
Absolutely, my man. Bill from New York. Appreciate Bill getting us started off the day with his call on the evening. We're going to continue with calls right now. We got this call right here. You are now live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Alan X, and I'm calling from Birmingham, Alabama. How you doing, Steve?
Alan, I'm doing great, man, on a Wednesday, getting myself prepared for Eastern Illinois, but my other eye is looking at this Iron Bowl matchup against Auburn. How you feeling?
I'm feeling just fine, man. It's something I want to bring up about Ty Simpson, and I want your opinion on this. Basically, everybody's blaming Ty Simpson for the game, and yes, he did have a bad game. But I was thinking about this. From the start of the season all the way up to the Oklahoma game, we did do better in the running game, but frankly, Ty Simpson had been carrying this team without a running game. And so think about all the throws that he has to make, not only during the game, but also in practice. So when you're taking all the first team reps in practice, and you're throwing and practicing each week, and you have to throw more during the game because you don't have a running game to help you out, that kind of weigh your arm down as the season goes, because it looks like after this 8-game winning streak, during the 8-game winning streak, especially against South Carolina, Missouri, and a couple of teams in the second half, Ty Simpson's arm looks just a little tired to me. What do you think about that?
Alan, that plays a role, and that goes back to not only the running backs having that vision in the run game, but that also goes back to your offensive line, right? And having 5 guys up front with that juice to run block. And that's been an issue for Alabama. The offensive line not having that consistent juice up front, whether it's guys not matching the pattern well, or whether it's the running backs not seeing the hole where it's being created. I mean, there is a lot that's kind of going on there, and I would like to see a better job across the board of the offensive line matching the pattern better, being able to open up the run, but also when that run opens up, I would like to see the running backs hit the hole, press the hole, and be about business and not necessarily just dancing around.
I agree 100% with you, Steve. That's a good point. And I think that would absolutely help Ty Simpson out so he won't have to throw 40 times a game, because that's not him. If he could throw anywhere from 20, 25 times a game, I think that would be enough. And you're right. The running game needs to help him out, especially for offensive line and the running backs. Hey, thanks a lot, Steve.
Absolutely. Appreciate Alan calling into the show, giving us his thoughts here on tonight. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. We definitely want to hear from all of you. But we go back to the chat line here to take some of your comments, as you guys have been rolling these comments in here. We pick up with Andre Caldwell here. He writes in, we beat 4 straight ranked teams in a row. Seems like that don't matter to the committee. I go back to, I don't know what this committee's thinking, because at the beginning of the season, they talked about we value who you beat. We value strength of schedule, strength of resume. who are you knocking off, right? Alabama has knocked off 4 top 25 teams, and they're still ranked in the top 25, all 4 of them, that being Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. So the fact that that's not holding weight when it comes down to the committee, I 100% don't quite understand that, Andre, but it is what it is there. We continue with more of your comments here, GT18. The committee makes up new rules as they go. So much bias, it's ridiculous. I feel the same way. They make up new rules as they go. They add new stuff in as they see fit to, and they don't follow their own procedure. They don't follow their own protocol. So it is what it is. I mean, it just is what it is at this point. Here goes my wife. Here goes my daughter again, using my wife's page. Preach it with all them T's. So there is Mariah giving her thoughts here on not just the committee, but where we're looking at here. This Bama football season is concerned. Let's see here. We got Golf off the SEC, Waylon writing in. Hello to everybody I've missed. So Waylon giving the road tide. Hello to everybody that he may have missed here in the chat line. Definitely appreciate all of you guys for hitting that like button, hitting the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys for showing that support right there. That daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. Thanks to all of you guys. Benjamin writing in. Hit that like button. It's free. Don't cost y'all a thing. For real. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make this your spot here for all things Crimson Tide football. We go here to J-Dog is in here. J-Dog 6784. I think the committee is just gaslighting us for ratings, to be honest. J-Dog, I never thought about that. You may be onto something there, bro. You might be onto something there. And then topic 2, I will get into what the committee was actually trying to say, putting Alabama at 10 there. Let's see, Latoya writes in, if Bama mess around and make the playoff, look out college football. Look, if Bama gets in here, look out. Seriously, Bama beats Auburn, gets in here at 10-2, look out. Because you're going to have Quay Russaw back healthy on the field. You're going to have some other guys back healthy on the field. Look out. If Bama gets into this playoff, it could feel just like what it did the 2017 season after Bama lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl that year and still made the playoff and got some linebackers back healthy, and then you saw what happened after that. I'm just saying. So, Latoya, good point there by you. She also puts in, hit the like button, please, and thank you. Y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, make this your spot here for all of your Bama football. Sin City Bama boy, let's get it. What's going on down? What's going down, Mr. Steven? Yes, I get it. We lost, but all the way down. And so Michigan beat Ohio State, so Michigan beat Ohio State, so they should drop to 8. Look, Bama should have been 8 in the playoff ranking. Bama shouldn't have been 10, Sin City Bama boy. Bama should have been 8. The committee put Bama at 10 for their own respective reason, and I'll get into that in topic 2, but the committee had a reason for putting Bama there at 10, even though I don't get the reason. They had a reason for putting putting Bama at 10. Blue Wrench Gang, my guy Waylon writes in the Wrench Gang, and one more time, the Wrench Gang. So whether again that Blue Wrench Gang getting going there. Benjamin writes in, Bill's volume low. We got Bill tuned up, though. We did get Bill tuned up, though. So I know I did hear him. So we did get Bill's voice there, on the screen. Appreciate you, Benjamin, for that right there. Let's see here. We got my guy Jason Haywood dropping in that $5 donation right in the bucket. Appreciate you, Jason. If the dropping rankings don't light a fire under this team, nothing will. Formby needs to be benched. I like the kid, but he's getting tired killed. I like Formby, but you look at this. I know Michael Carroll at right tackle would be interesting, but he's a freshman. He's young. He's going to go through some growing pains there. I mean, there's some other guys you could go with. Could you try Olas Anganine at right tackle? I mean, I'm just saying the guy's 6'6". I mean, would you mind trying Olas Anganine at right tackle? Get the kid from Finland a look there. I'm just saying, if you want to go that way. We got J-Mac in here. Welcome back. Appreciate you, J-Mac, being a part of the show. Andre Call writes back in. Let's go out there. and play joyless murder ball on Saturday. That's the thing. Play that ball on Saturday. Getting this thing done here against Eastern Illinois. Getting yourself prepared for Auburn. We go back to James Knox in here. The Sunday-Thursday process has been so inconsistent. There's no way this team from Coach's Sunday and then prep walk through Friday has reached DeBoer to Georgia prep week. The levels look so poor. Look, so I've said this. After the Georgia game, there's been a drop in confidence since the Georgia game. There's been a drop in consistency since the Georgia game. There's been a drop in rhythm since the Georgia game. And you've got to find that back. Alabama's got to find that rhythm back. It's got to find that consistency back. It's got to find that level of confidence back. Got to find that back again, because right now you've lost it since that matchup. We got Christian Hughes in here, Roll Tide. Stephen, I appreciate you, Christian, being a part here of the show. And for all of you guys getting your thoughts in, hey, Anitra, I know what she said. I know exactly what LaToya said, Anitra. I know what she said. I know. Absolutely. I know. We got here Marquise Washington writes in Roll Tide. What up, Stephen? Roll Tide to you, Marquise. Happy to have you in here. Absolutely. We got the Skyline crew. Christian Hughes in here. Skyline. What's up, Christian? Happy to see you guys right here in the building. Let's see here. LaToya Billingsley writes in, this defense is ready to win us a natty. Now, the defense is prepared. I got to give Kane Womack his. And I know we've had our thoughts about Kane in this 4-2-5, and it ain't swarming, it ain't doing this, it ain't doing that. But when Kane needs this defense to bow up, flex some muscle, and stop people, this defense has bowed up, flex some muscle, and it has stopped people. So we got to give Kane Womack his due. We got to give Kane Womack his credit, because he's gone out here, and he's had this defense playing some big ball. Even against Oklahoma, the defense played well enough to win. They did. That was the offense and the turnovers that cost that football game. Defense played well enough to win. Let's see here. We are continuing with your thoughts here. We got here Anitra with the Stephen. I know what she said, girl. I know what she said. I know exactly what she said. And Monica Padua just rolling in laughter. Monica we all just rolling in laughter. Man, I'm happy to be back doing this. We're just rolling in laughter right now. My man Big Bill writes in, did Formby look a little bit better at right guard than right tackle? I think Formby's more of a guard right now. And at right tackle, you could put Olas Anganim there. You could put Casey Poe there. Could you try Jackson Lloyd there? Maybe. I mean, Michael Carroll's got potential. He's young. So you've got some guys that could fit there at that right tackle spot. My main thing is, get you 5 guys that you can trust, because all of this switching and swatching and rotating and re-rotating, you're not getting cohesiveness. So just get your best 5 in a spot and roll with that. That's my main thing. Get your best 5 in a spot and just roll with it. I appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts here in on the show. We're going to go to a quick break right here, folks. When we get back, we're going to get into topic 2 of the conversation, that being, what did the College Football Playoff Committee really mean by putting Bama at 10? We'll get to that right after this.
You an Alabama fan?
I sure am, Roll Tide.
Do you have the TDA app to stay up to date with Alabama football news?
No, I don't.
Well, you're not a real Alabama fan, are you, buddy?
If you're a true Alabama football fan, you should have this app. Get all of your Crimson Tide updates, news, and information all in one app with notifications sent straight to your phone. The TDA app, the app for Alabama football fans.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right. We're back into the action here, folks, from the break. Number one form for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, right here for Touchdown Alabama Magazine. You guys continue smashing the like button. Drop that thumbs up on the show right there. Hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate that. The daily Super Chat go $100 daily. Super Chat, go $100 right there. We appreciate the support. I appreciate the support coming from all of you and myself being back here doing this show. And we transition here to topic 2 of the conversation, that being the College Football Playoff Committee, right? What was the message with putting Alabama at number 10? Because there's a message in everything, right? We looked at the rankings when they came out last night, and a lot of us looked at this as this is not right. Bama should be higher than 10. Bama should be better than 10. Bama has beaten 4 teams ranked in the top 25. You being the College Football Committee, you say you value strength of schedule. You say you value strength of resume. You say you value who did you beat. You say that you value all of these metrics. But then when it comes down to Alabama, you don't value the metric. Why? Because Alabama with 4 wins over top 25 teams, and it's dropped down to number 10. But what the committee has said with this move is, you beat Auburn, you're in the playoff. That's basically what the committee is saying. With Bama at 10, you beat Auburn, you're in the playoff. You don't beat Auburn, you're out. So that's what the committee is saying right now. They're putting everything on the Iron Bowl, which is next week, right? You go, you handle your business against Eastern Illinois, take care of them first and foremost, right? But then you go down to Jordan-Hare. You beat Auburn, you take care of Auburn, you handle the Tigers, you will be in the playoff at 10-2. You don't beat Auburn, you lose the Tigers, you pick up your 3rd loss of the season, then you're right back where you were last year, missing out on the college football playoff for a 2nd year in a row. And none of you, as Bama fans, want that happening, missing out on the big dance for a 2nd year in a row. So to me, that was what the committee was doing. The committee was saying, hey, the reason why we got you at 10 is we want one thing from you. Beat Auburn. We want one thing from you. Handle Auburn. We want one thing from you. Go down the Jordan-Hare and take all of the life out of that atmosphere. Go down the Jordan-Hare and take all of the life out of that place. You do that, you're going to be in the playoff right there. And going to be intriguing to see how Alabama comes out against Eastern Illinois first. Does it come out on fire? Does it come out ready to play? Does it come out wanting to execute the game plan, or does it come out going through the motions? Does it come out sleepwalking? Does it come out uninterested? Does it come out not enthused about this game? Because you can tell in the first couple minutes here of a football game where Alabama is concerned what they look like. Are they focused? Was the practice really intense? Was the practicing really marquee? Does DeBoer have all of these guys really and truly locked into the responsibility at hand, which is playing dominant football for 4 quarters? So we're going to see, but in my honest opinion, that's what I think the committee did. The committee put Bama at 10 because they're saying, hey, we're putting this all on the Iron Bowl. And we've seen in so many years past where the Iron Bowl has meant everything, right, in terms of postseason implications. 2009, first off the rip right there, Alabama had to go to Jordan-Hare for the Iron Bowl in 2009. It started off a bit rocky. Greg McElroy and the guys, they got back into the game, ended up winning 26-21, right? We look at 2013. The Iron Bowl meant something. In Jordan-Hare, that dreadful kick 6 that happened, and Auburn winning that game. So 2013, the Iron Bowl meant something there. 2015, the Iron Bowl meant something there. Derrick Henry, Jake Coker going to Auburn, getting that win 29-13, and Derrick Henry ended up winning the Heisman Trophy that season. 2019, the Iron Bowl meant something there. I mean, Mac Jones played his best in that game, but Joseph Bulovas had to miss a field goal, conked it off the upright. You lose 48-45, and you miss out on the playoff there. So we've seen so many instances where the Iron Bowl has meant something in terms of postseason implications. The only time where Alabama lost the Iron Bowl to Auburn, and it didn't mean anything, was 2017 with Jalen Hurts, where it lost at Jordan-Hare 26-14. But Alabama still made the college football playoff when it was a 4-team playoff. They got the number 4 spot, and Bama got in, took care of business against Clemson, went up against Georgia for the national championship. We all know how that ended. Second and 26, Tua Tagovailoa to Devontae Smith. Whoa, Nelly! In the words of Keith Jackson, Bama getting the win there in the most iconic moment of the Saban era. But that's the reason why the committee put Bama at 10. They're literally saying, you take care of Auburn, you beat your in-state rival, you go to the playoff, point blank period. But we're going to go to another break here, folks. We'll touch that dial when we get back. We return to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. We go to your calls right after this.
You an Alabama fan?
I sure am, Roll Tide.
Do you have the TDA app to stay up to date with Alabama football news?
No, I don't.
Well, you're not a real Alabama fan, are you, buddy?
If you're a true Alabama football fan, you should have this app. Get all of your Crimson Tide updates, news, and information all in one app with notifications sent straight to your phone. The TDA app, the app for Alabama football fans.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we're back, folks. We're back, rocking and rolling. Here to the action from the break here. Number one ticket for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue to hit the like button. Smash the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make this your spot here for all things Crimson Tide football. Turn on those notifications as well, so that way you don't miss anything when it comes to the program, to the show covering your favorite program in the network covering your favorite program, that being Bama football. That daily Super Chat go, $100. Daily Super Chat go, $100 right there. Thanks to all of you. Phone lines open. 205-448-1358. The number right there at the bottom right there. 205-448-1358. One more time. 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from all of you. And we're going to go to the comment section as you guys are getting your thoughts together to call in. Here we go. We got some comments rolling through here. Let's get to a couple of these. Here we go. We got Rosetta Smith. Quay Russo, let's go. I'm going to say this. Quay is back healthy. He's back healthy. It's going to be interesting to see when the coaching staff will choose to unleash him. When the defensive coaching staff, that being, will choose to unleash him. But he's back healthy. He's set to go. I've been thoroughly impressed with what Yanze Pierre has done, looking like his first cousin, former Alabama linebacker, two-time national champion Courtney Upshaw. But Quay Russo's healthy, and excited to see when the coaching staff decides to insert him back into the pass rush lineup here. Monica Petaway writes in, they better not come out that tunnel with anxiety. They better come out ready to play. Hey, Monica, I'm right there with you. They got to come out ready to play. They got to come out this weekend ready to play. But most importantly, they got to come out in the Iron Bowl ready to take care of this business. Because like I said, the committee has set this up to where you take care of Auburn, you're in the playoff. You fail to take care of Auburn, you're out. So they got to come out of that tunnel ready to play. And we got my man Bill from New York saying, here we go. Bill agreeing with Monica. Bill agreeing. They got to come out here. They got to win. They got to take care of this business, man, because you're trying to win. You're trying to get in the playoff. You're not trying to have 2 years, back-to-back years go by, and you don't make it. Because if back-to-back years go by and you don't make it, then it becomes an issue. Then it becomes a question. Then it becomes, hey, Deborah, what's up? Like, back-to-back years, all of his talent, and you still cannot get into the playoff, there's a problem. So you've got to take care of business here when you look at being on the field. We got my man Eric Thomas writing back in. We play so many teams that were coming off a bye week. It's ridiculous. It is, Eric. It is. But that's just kind of, what happens there. But we go to the phone lines right now because we got a phone call. Here we go. We're going to go right now. We're going to take this call. And you are live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
My name is Pop-Tart.
We got Pop-Tart calling in. So, Pop-Tart, what's up?
My question is, what do we learn from the loss to Oklahoma?
What we learned from the loss to Oklahoma, Pop-Tart? Well, the first thing we learned from the loss to Oklahoma is, number one, we got to come out there and play with some. We got to come out and play with some juice. I mean, we had no energy out there for the most part, and especially on offense. And then we learned that you cannot give the ball away to the other team. Like 4 turnovers, you can't have 4 turnovers and win a football game. So we learned, hey, you got to come out there with some energy on offense. You can't turn the ball over on offense. And for goodness gracious, got to have a kicker. You got to make kicks as well. So that is what we learned from that loss there to Oklahoma.
I agree with you. That's right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Pop-Tart, for your call. You have a good night, baby, okay?
Okay. God bless.
Absolutely. God bless you as well, Pop-Tart. Appreciate Pop-Tart calling into the show. Gotta love the kids being a part of the conversation. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be heard here on the show. 205-448-1358 here. Hey, and even the guy Pop said, hello, Pop-Tart. So Pop-Tart's getting some love here from Waylon. Here we go. Pop-Tart getting some love from Waylon here on the show. Let's see. Jay Will writes back in. You back on YouTube? I thought you retired. Good to see you again, though. Hey, happy to be back doing this, Jay Will. Happy to be back, giving back to you, the fans and all the people here that make this possible. That make this possible there. Gotta love the kids, man. Gotta love the kids calling in and being a part of the show. Sweet Home Bama 24. Give me a roll, Todd. Stephen M. Appreciate you, Sweet Home Bama 24, being a part of the show here. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to get your voice be made known here on the show. 205-448-1358 here. That's the number to let your voice be made known here. Get your calls in. Once again, that number 205-448-1358. Happy to have all of you guys in here. We got Andre Call writes in. We get in the playoffs, might have to play 3 straight games just to get to the Natty. However, remember, we already did that in the regular season, so we should be good. So if you break the playoffs, you would have to play 3 straight games. You would have to play the first round, the second round, and then the semifinal round. After the semifinal round, then it's the national championship. So Andre, you're correct. You would have to play 3 rounds once you make the playoff prior to making the national championship. Should you win all 3 rounds, first round, second round, and then the semifinal round there. My man Big Bill writes in, the kicker really got me upset when he yelled at the long snapper, shut up and make the kick. Look, I understand the snap was high, Bill. I get it. People that went back and watched the All-22 film, they'll say, Steve, the snap was high. Steve, the snap was high. Yes, the snap was high. I get it. But Blake Dowd, the punter, did a great job. He got the snap down. He turned the laces away. At that point, if you're Connor Talty, breathe and make the kick. At that point, the snap being high don't matter no more. Once the holder brings it down and spins those laces away from you, kick the ball. That's it. So absolutely, just kick the football. So I appreciate that thought coming from you, Bill. And Alabama Poll writes in, if we beat Auburn but lose in the SEC championship, they might try to kick us out. So Alabama Poll, the only way Bama would get into the championship at this point would be Ole Miss would have to lose to Mississippi State, and I think Tennessee would have to beat Florida to strengthen Bama's schedule even more. But I think more so than likely, Ole Miss would have to beat Mississippi. Ole Miss would have to lose to Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl for Bama to get in to the SEC title game. And appreciate Bama Poe for that thought right there. Keith Holcomb writes in, AP, responding to AP, I think we have to win out. So Bama has to win out to make the playoff, but Bama would have to win out and then hope for an Ole Miss loss to make the SEC championship game. So that's kind of at that notion right there. Let's see here. We got my guy Jackson Johnson with What Up TDA Nation. Appreciate you, Jackson Johnson, for your thought right there. Pork Rinds writes in, I look at Alabama a little differently than everybody else. I personally think they're still a really good team, even with the loss against Oklahoma. 3 turnovers, and you still had an opportunity to win. Bama still had a chance to win their Pork Rinds. You're correct. Bama still had a shot to win, but you can't turn the football over. You just can't turn the football over like that. You got to protect the football. That's a big thing. You got to protect the football. Pork Rinds also goes, nah, Steven, Alabama is in if A&M wins and Alabama beats Auburn. Okay, so Pork Rinds is saying Bama is in the SEC championship game if they beat Auburn and if A&M wins. So Ole Miss plays no factor here. Okay, what I was looking at is I was reading somewhere where Ole Miss played a factor, but I guess Ole Miss plays no factor in this at all. So that's interesting. That's very interesting there. We're going to go to this call right here that's live on the show here. And you are live on the show. How we feeling tonight? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen M. Smith. Hey, it's Mattress Matt from Mobile.
Matt, how you feeling, brother?
Oh man, I've missed you, man. I've been wondering. There's so many times I'm wanting to hear your take on things.
Well, Matt. Matt, go ahead.
I've missed you, man. I'm glad to have you back. And I just got out of church and turned my phone on and tapped on YouTube, and there you were, man. I can't believe you're back up and going, man. I'm really excited about that. So I appreciate what you do, man. I appreciate you, taking some time out of your, out of your busy life and getting back on here to do what you do best, brother.
Man, I'm so happy and thankful to be back doing this, because even during my time away, there were so many people that stayed in contact with me and that wanted to know my perspective on so many different things when it comes down to Alabama football. So even when I was away, to still have my input valued, that meant a great deal to me. So it's a joy to be back doing this.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're back, man. I've had a lot of times I wish you were there so I could have called and kind of vented everything that's been going on this year, because it's been exciting. DeBoer, I really like DeBoer. I'm really excited about the program. I think we're getting better. I think we are improving, from last year. So there's a lot to look forward to. I love all the new recruits that he's getting. It looks like we've got, if he stays, we got the next 3 or 4 years lined up with or 2 or 3 at least, but already getting, top 5-star recruits. So, I don't know what's going on with the run game. I got my opinions, but I don't have a football background. I'm just a fan. So all I do is I see what I see. but I don't know really what's going on behind the scenes as to, what's really going on with the run game. My opinion is our running backs aren't hitting the holes hard enough because there's been many times I've seen wide open lanes and we're not hitting them. Another thing is there's stronger competition on the defensive line now. So, we don't have these dominant offensive lines like we used to have during Saban, where we can just mow over everybody without any effort because we're just bigger and stronger and better. So there's more competition now, and so I think the old school run scheme, I feel like is going to drift out of college football. We can't just run it up the gut, old school, just traditional, hand the ball off and tell them to hit the hole, just run it up the gut and think that we're going to get 4 or 5 yards of carry on that anymore. I don't think anybody is. I don't think anybody's getting the teams that have the longest run yardage per possession, I think, are running a lot more jet motion and jet sweeps and misdirection, and they're not just running it up the gut with that much success. And I think we're doing a lot too much of that. We see like 1 or 2 jet sweeps per game. I think that needs to be the jet sweep and the motion needs to be our whole run game, not just a secondary tool, 1 or 2 possessions. That needs to be every run. We don't even need to hand the ball off on a traditional handoff. Every run play needs to. We have to have the defense on their heels with a scheme that has some creativity to it. Otherwise, we're just wasting the possession.
Man, I agree with you on that, and that's the reason why Ryan Grubb is in here as the offensive play caller, is to have that kind of creativity where you're getting misdirections, you're getting linebackers' eyes undisciplined and out of gaps because they feel like, okay, something's going to the left, but the play is actually going to the right. And having that motion and having that jet movement and having that misdirection there. And I felt like going into the Georgia game, Bama was doing a lot more of that. And then it felt like after Georgia, Bama tried to go back to, traditional run it up the gut, but that wasn't necessarily it. So with Ryan Grubb, you got to go back to a lot of that motion with Alani Brooks, a lot of that motion with Jeremy Bernard, because that was working. When you got Ryan Williams involved, that was working. And just mix it up a little bit, because that's why Ryan Grubb was brought in here. He was brought in here to mix it up a little bit and to have that creativity.
Yes. And another thing I thought of, too, if defenses had to prepare for Ty Simpson as being a threat to the run game, I feel like our running backs would get more yardage. But we haven't really showcased Ty Simpson as hey, every play, Ty Simpson might be a run threat. We're gonna put Ty Simpson in some packages where he's gonna be a run threat. And the defenses we're facing don't have any. It's all predictable. They know exactly what we're going to do. They either know if the running back's back there, he's going to be handed the ball or run up for pass protection, and that's it. Or Ty Simpson's going to drop back in the pocket. But if Ty Simpson was a good run threat, then they might think the defense is going to be more confused. I don't know. Am I wrong about that? I mean,
Matt, that needs to be more incorporated into the offense. And this is where I go back to in terms of quarterbacks. And I'm going to say this about Ty Simpson. I'm going to say this about Tua Tagovailoa. I'm going to say this about Bryce Young. And I'm going to even throw Blake Sims in there. A lot of times, quarterbacks they want to prove, especially guys that were labeled dual threats out of high school, they want to prove so much that I can pass that they tend to forget it's okay to run. Use your feet. I look at, there were so many times in Bryce Young's career where Bryce Young is holding the ball. We're like, Bryce, it's okay to run. Like, you are a dual threat. Use your athletic ability. Like, we looked at Tua. Tua, it's okay to take off and run. Now, slide and protect yourself, but it's okay to take off and run. We said that at times in 2014 to Blake Sims. Blake is back in the pocket. No, Blake, take off and run. It's okay. Because when you take off and run, you become a threat. And they don't know how to account for you. And the same thing for Ty Simpson. Ty, coming out of high school, was a dual threat quarterback. It's okay to use that part of your game. And I think Ryan Grubb needs to implement that more in the play calling.
Yes. Yeah. And but on the positive side, you know what? If we'd have beat Oklahoma, which we should have, if we'd have just made the field goal, or, one of the 4 or 5 things that went wrong, if we'd have done that, we'd have that one loss. We're really having a really good season, and we're a lot more consistent than we were last year. And our defense is a lot better. So we're getting better. I feel like if we just give DeBoer time, I really like the direction the program's heading in. I think that there's a lot to be excited about. But I know I've taken up a lot of your time. I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. And we'll talk again soon, man. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Appreciate my guy Mattress Matt from Mobile calling into the show, giving his thoughts here. Appreciate all of you guys calling in, for giving your comments here on the show. We're going to get to some more of your comments before we get into the final topic of conversation. You guys are rolling these comments in here. And we're going to pick up right here with Latoya. Latoya writes in, Georgia running the ball down people's throat. Look, I look at Georgia with that Chauncey Bowen kid. They run the ball right at you. And they also have a running quarterback in Gunnar Stockton. So Georgia still believes in running the ball right at you. Kirby Smart's going to pound that to the wall. Georgia's going to run the ball right at you. I mean, Latoya, I do agree with that right there. Benjamin writes in, Jam be putting his head down way too soon, and he seems to stop moving his legs at first contact. In my opinion. So I look at Jam. I do see him at times put his head down too soon. I do see him at times not move his legs at first contact. But I also see him, Benjamin, dance around the hole. And I would also see him, a hole could be open right here. And if he just presses it, that's 4 yards. Jam will take off on the whole other side. And I'm like, pimping. The hole is right here. You press that, that's 4 or 5 yards. It could be, but why are you going the other way? So I also see Jam doing that as well. So I see where you're coming from there, Benjamin. Keith Holcomb writes in, guess everybody has forgotten about AJ and Jones getting into it on the field. Personally, I like to see a little bit more fire out of that team. Look, like AJ McCarron and Barrett Jones, look, man, they wanted to be right so badly, they got into it in the national championship game against Notre Dame. And you would like to see more guys carry that kind of fire. But Keith Holcomb will also say this, you don't see people built like AJ and Barrett Jones anymore mentally. You don't see guys built with that type of mentality where I want to be right, I want to be great, I want to be elite, I want to be dominant, I want to kill everything moving, right? You don't see people with that mentality of a Barrett Jones, of an A.J. McCarron, of a Reuben Foster. You don't see people wired that way anymore, like a Rolando McClain. You don't see a wiring of like that anymore. You don't see that. I hate it, but you don't see that. Appreciate Keith Holcomb for his thoughts right there. We got another call coming in. We're going to take this call right now. And guess what, baby? You are live on the show. What's happening? How we feel? And state your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, it's Cody Heath, 5150 out of Crestview, Florida.
Cody, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Hey, roll tide to you, man. Look, I just got to be blunt about the CFP. I want to keep it real with you. I don't know what the committee is smoking. I think they're smoking on that dong for Notre Dame because really, to be honest, how I look at this, you put Notre Dame above Alabama, who's won 4 top-ranked teams, and then Miami has technically beaten Notre Dame. Well, the only problem is you're facing a cupcake team. You're not in the conference, Notre Dame. You don't have a bowl game. I don't get why the committee is going to put like Texas Tech, who plays nobody, but I get because of the one loss or whatever. But Notre Dame, however, you in the Big Ten, you are the second best team in the Big Ten. In the ACC, you're the best team in the ACC. In the SEC, you're the 5th best team in the SEC. Anybody in the SEC can beat you. All we have to do is give you CTE, Notre Dame. And the only problem is you're one-sided. And the committee don't see that. All you do is run the dang ball. You got Jeremiah Love. You do not have no quarterback. You have no defense. All you have is Jeremiah Love. And every time that committee says, oh, we're getting penalized more because we don't know how to run the ball, I think the committee should know that the point of view that I gave you on the last show, Stephen, was just the reason why. Grubb does not know how to use a running back, nor does he even know how to use a fullback. I said John Gruden knows how to use a fullback. He knows how to use a running back. We haven't used that stuff in 15 years since Saban. So in other cases, I think the committee needs to go back and do their homework because otherwise these writers are morons. I can't tell you anything else but this. I think Alabama should be at least behind Oklahoma, but they should not be at 10 in the bubble. That's pathetic, college football players. Anyway, I'm in the chat. Roll Tide to everyone. Thank you.
Absolutely. Cody Heath in here, coming in hot. Appreciate Cody giving us his thoughts here on the show. Absolutely. Well, folks, thanks to all of you guys being a part here of the conversation tonight, all of the comments here. Appreciate every last one of you guys. Blue Wrench Gang is in here strong. Thanks to all of you guys for making this your show, your spot, your place to talk Alabama football. We're going to go to our final break right here, people. When we get back, we wrap things up with the final topic of conversation, that being it's time for Ty Simpson to get back into rhythm. And how does he do it? How does he make it happen? We'll get to that, and we'll wrap things up right after this.
You an Alabama fan?
I sure am, Roll Tide.
Do you have the TDA app to stay up to date with Alabama football news?
No, I don't.
Well, you're not a real Alabama fan, are you, buddy?
If you're a true Alabama football fan, you should have this app. Get all of your Crimson Tide updates, news, and information all in one app with notifications sent straight to your phone. The TDA app, the app for Alabama football fans.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back rocking and rolling to the action here from the break. Hottest show in these streets here, talking Bama football news in my own words with yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama magazine. Shouting out all of you, the fans, man, to have this back again, to do this again with every last one of you and the support that you've been showing in the return of the show. Just overwhelmed with joy. Right? Give it up to you guys right now. Clap it up for yourself, man. Clap it up for the family. Blue Wrench Gang family, to have all of you guys back in here. I'm telling you, it does my heart good to have all of you guys, every last one of you guys back in here. You really have no idea what this means. You have no idea what this means for me right now. But what this means to me right now. But we're getting to right now the final topic here of the conversation this evening. This goes to one Ty Simpson, and it's time for him to get back in rhythm, right? Ty Simpson, first game against Oklahoma, the first game against Florida State, of course. You know, first game was a starter, obviously nerves, jitters, that type of thing. And the first game didn't go the way Ty wanted it to go. But then from the ULM game to the Georgia game, I mean, the guy just got on fire, right? Accurate, very sharp throwing the football, very sharp commanding his offense, very sharp getting the offense to the right play, into the right protection, things of that nature. You had Heisman people talking about Ty Simpson should be in the Heisman conversation, high in the Heisman conversation. You had NFL draft pundits looking at Ty Simpson like, man, forget Arch Manning, forget these other cats. This Ty Simpson should be the first quarterback coming off the board. Like, all of that conversation was happening. And then after the Georgia game, you start to see little by little Simpson out of rhythm a little bit. Simpson a bit off. And while, yes, against LSU, he was able to put together a drive, a touchdown to Ryan Williams to help Alabama pull away in that game, win that game. Yes, he had the drive against South Carolina. You're down 8 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You get the touchdown. You go for 2. You get it. And then at the very end, you have Jeremy Bernard, 25-yard touchdown run, trick play to kind of win the game there at 29-22. But it was like Ty was out of rhythm, right? And so last week, it went into full culmination of that, whether it was the offensive line not matching the blitz pattern, not picking up blitz protection, whether it was the running backs whipping on picking up blitzing defensive players, whether it was Ty Simpson himself holding the ball entirely too long, getting hit, fumbles happening, opposing team recovering. Ty, a bit rattled there. And maybe, just maybe, the loss to Oklahoma and it taking Simpson out of the Heisman conversation, this to me is exactly what Ty needed. Because now you can get back in that lab, Ty and Ryan Grubb, and let's get the quarterback that was playing sharp at the beginning of the season. Let's get back to Ty being sharp with the football. Let's get back to Ty getting the ball out quick. Let's get back to Ty locating the hot read. Let's get back to Ty, changing the protection scheme the way it needs to be done. Let's get back to Ty running this offense sharply. And what would help him get back in that rhythm is having that jet motion that Mattress Matt talked about in the previous call segment. But also what would help is having this offensive line, even if you can't really run up the middle, run it off tackle, right? Run it off tackle, have some form of a run game to get Ty comfortable. Run some slants, run some screens, run some hitch plays, run some tight end seams. Easy plays getting Ty back in rhythm. Like I said, Ryan Grubb, you are the offensive coordinator. This is why you were brought in. You were brought in to get Ty some stuff to get him going, right? Get him going. Yes, we want to see the big throws down the field and stretching the defense vertically and making the prime time plays in the open field. But you also want some easy stuff, some easy home run stuff. And that's what the great coordinators do. They're able to get easy stuff as well. I mean, why do you think Mac Jones had so much success with Steve Sarkisian? Sark was able to get Mac easy stuff too by manipulating a lot of things in the scheme. Why do you think Tua Tagovailoa had so much success with Steve Sarkisian and Mike Loxley and Brian Dable? Because those guys got easy stuff for Tua. It wasn't just the big bomb down the field, but it was the slant play, the hitch play, the bubble screen, the easy stuff, right? So that's what Ryan Grubb's got to do. Got to have some easy stuff here for Ty to get him back in rhythm, get him back going, have him playing with that confidence, not just against Eastern Illinois this weekend, but also against Auburn when you talk about the upcoming Iron Bowl. But, folks, that's going to do it here for today's show, and appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in, being a part of the conversation. Ty right there, Keith Holcomb puts it right there. Ty gets too much into his own head. Some of that is he's thinking a lot, and sometimes you just can't think a lot. Just go out there and play. You can't think so much. Just go out there and do it. Just go out there and play. Go out there and do it. Go out there and execute the game plan. Coach Carl, open up the play. Boom! Open up the playbook. Get creative with it. Open up the playbook. Ryan Grubb, I agree with that right there. We got my girl Latoya. Ty has been shook since Missouri. He's been getting pressure off the right side, and it's speeding up the clock, throwing the mechanics off. That right side of the offensive line, that's got to get better. Whether you choose to put Formby at guard and put somebody else at tackle, or whether you choose to look at, a different look there of players, whatever it takes to get that right side good, get that right side where it needs to be. Get the right side of an offensive line exactly where it needs to be at. Run the Table Sports TV says, Steve, we back. We back, Run the Table. Just hold on to the ball. That's the big thing for Ty. Hold on to the football. Hold on to the football. That's the main thing. But appreciate all of you guys being back in here. Blue Wrench Game being back in here. Naomi is back in here with the whole family. We all back in here. Naomi is back in here. The whole family, we back. We back, people. We back. Blue Ridge Gang back in here. Man, it does my heart good to see everybody back. Does my heart phenomenal to see everybody back in here. But, as always, people, thank you guys for making this your show, your spot, your channel to talk all things Crimson Tide football. Thanks to the calls tonight. You guys were phenomenal. Comments in the chat line. You guys were phenomenal. Everybody, donate to the show. Appreciate that. You guys phenomenal in that as well. And, until next time, folks, hey, husbands, love your wives. Be good to them right there. Wives, appreciate the husbands. Do good to them right there. Hey, kids, get that work done. I know you're coming up on Thanksgiving, but children, get that work done right there. Do the smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. Then you get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. As always, you protect yourself, people. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, God bless all of you. We'll be back on Friday within my own words. Until then, folks, roll Tide. I'll see you Friday.